So hello everyone, this is Sage and welcome to the Executive Corner Expert Talks, and today's special guest is Ms. Oriane Juncker, the CEO and founder at Spotz. And the federal government earlier this year released their budget, which showed a significant amount of funding being put towards women's affairs. And studies show that more women participating in the workforce will have economic benefits, including increasing the GDP. And today's guest will share insights on operating Spotz, which is a mum-to-mum marketplace that allows mums to earn money on their own terms by selling their products and services, giving them independence. And as you know, we bring the industry leaders, successful business owners all under the one roof to help you discover the insights of the stock markets. And today we're very lucky to share some space with the special guest, Ms. Oriane Juncker, the CEO of Spotz. Welcome to the show, Oriane.
Hi, Sage. Thanks a lot for having me here.
It's a pleasure to meet you, and very keen to hear the insights of a female CEO amongst the sea of male CEOs that we have on the show. So, Oriane, with your experience as a medical advisor and business development manager, we're pleased to have this opportunity to share your insights. And being financially independent is of high value to many people. So in your opinion, how can Spotz help more women to become financially independent?
So there is one thing that actually struck me when I interviewed women before I created my business, is the fact that it is hard for a woman to have a proper balance between her career as a woman and also her mom life. And this is usually coming from the lack of flexibility with work. And so I just wanted to help women to create a world where there is more flexibility for them to be able to raise their children and also have a career. And so Spotz is really all about it, providing that flexibility to women, giving them the resources they need to create their businesses and earn money on their own terms. So we have created a platform for moms where they can sell their products. And very soon we're going to launch the section where mom can also sell their services online. So this is really trying to support them to create their businesses. And once they've done it, to help them expanding their customer reach with the platform.
That's great. Sounds like you're building up a great community there of mums being able to network with each other as well. And you mentioned that you're a mother of two boys. You said they were 2 years old and 4 years old. So how long has Spotz been operating for? Was it an innovation that came about because of your own experience with having young children?
Yes, so actually I think it's something very common I've realized with women around me, is that when you have children, you're first frustrated with that lack of flexibility with your work or corporate job you've got. And I think one thing that is very important is also the purpose of your work. You're just thinking you've got time away from your children and you want that time away to be purposeful and not only being about earning money. And so that's, for me, it really came from the fact that I really wanted to bring something to life that was purposeful to me. And it felt like when I was talking with my friends, we were all frustrated about the same things. And I was thinking, if we want to change the society so that we're not complaining about those things, we need to gather. This is all about, if we're talking from one voice, no one is never going to hear us. But if we start talking from one voice, we represent a quarter of the population here in Australia as moms. So if we start talking together, we're going to be loud and we can be heard. And then I started to think, okay, that's great to have beautiful ideas, but I just need to gather those women first, and you need to provide for one of their needs. And that need is really that lack of flexibility, that need to earn money on your own terms, and also to get more purpose. And 50% of the millennial moms want to create their business for that flexibility and purpose they're looking for. So that's really why I'm trying with Spotz to help them with creating those businesses that they've dreamed of creating. And I think one thing is really that is really interesting is that with COVID, a lot of people have lost their jobs. And I've talked to women during interviews, and they were telling me they've lost their job, but it was in the end a very beautiful opportunity for them, because they've always wanted to become freelancers or create their business. And COVID has been, pushing them, a bit beyond that comfort zone, and they started creating their businesses, and they say it's the best thing they've ever done. So yeah, a lot of beautiful things happening despite the whole COVID problem at the moment in our society.
Yes, thank you for sharing that very inspiring story. And it's tried and true, isn't it? With solidarity, you can make things happen. And strangely, COVID has been a learning experience and a time, an opportunity to innovate for many e-commerce businesses too. So interesting to see the redistribution of power there, and great to hear that women's voices are not being silenced as much anymore. So Oriane, we're keen to share your insights on the show. We've seen some progress in closing the gender pay gap and new rules relating to superannuation guarantees for casual workers, predominantly who are women, due to the child raising duties. Please give in your opinion how more and more women can start something new of their own, hassle-free.
Yes, so you were actually talking about the gap closing. The recent data were not that great in Australia. I think we've gone from, we were 15th probably 5 years ago, ranking in the world in terms of gender pay gap. And I think we went from 15th to 50th, so which is not really that good. And that's why I really think that women really need to get their voice being heard. And this is only by gathering we can start doing this. And so to create a business hassle-free, I think it's a bit of an oxymoron. Let's be honest, creating a business is always going to be so much work, but you have one thing that is driving you much more than anything else. It's the purpose. You want to create something, to bring something to the world that is important to you. And I feel like if you found a business that is your purpose, it's going to be driving you beyond what you couldn't ever think that you could achieve. And this is what we really want to do. A lot of us have got dreams, and the reality of our world, the fact we need to earn money to provide for our family is usually quite restrictive, and we put those dreams on the side. But what I really want to do with Spotz is to show examples of other women who've created their business and who are being successful and who are here to support you. We were talking about earlier about the community. I think the community has always been something I would say important to thrive. And also to feel safe and supported. So that's why I want Spotz to be a community where women can actually ask questions to and who can support each other. And with Spotz, what it allows is for some mums to buy from other mums. And this way you are supporting your community instead of buying from, big corporations. You are, every time you purchase something, you're actually supporting another mom's dream. And this is what is beautiful about it.
Yes, I think this, as you mentioned before, the COVID-19 is giving some people opportunities to find their businesses have more value now. But I think it's also making people more aware about who they're purchasing from, and hopefully they're choosing the smaller local businesses instead of going for those mega corporations, because those people, the small businesses, need us at the moment, as you say. And networking within the niche and special interest groups has proven advantages. And with Spotz, you are allowing mums to form their own community. And in your opinion, how does this community, you've mentioned it a little bit, but could you elaborate? How does the community benefit mums for scaling up their businesses?
So I think the first thing is having like-minded people around you, or people who understand your own challenges. That's the first thing. And so on the community, you can ask your question. You've got other moms who can support you. But what we're trying to do is go beyond that with the mentorship program. So it will be, each and every one of us, we've got skills. Even if we don't believe it, we are good at something. And I think the mentorship program is really here to allow moms to get the support they need without paying for it. So it's a free support. So one lawyer can support another moms with legal advice, and this other mom who received advice can help another mom, maybe because she's good at marketing or accounting. And this is what we're trying to reinforce here, is that if you are giving, you are also getting. It's really the whole spirit of the community. And I think it's what is important to understand when you join Spotz. It's not for your only benefit. It's really, you are going to benefit someone, and it's going to benefit you. So yeah, it's a two-way thing, and it really goes down to together we are stronger.
Exactly. I like the sound of that dynamic. In giving, we receive. That's a really nice idea about the energy flow. Thank you for sharing that. So you're obviously fighting the good fight there. With solidarity, the women's voice can be heard together and progress can be made. Now, one of your goals is to eventually unite women behind a common cause to influence policymakers to change society to a more mum-friendly zone. Where do you think we are heading towards in this context in the present day, in your opinion?
You know what? I think despite all the negative aspects with COVID, it has brought a lot of positive things. And it's like the old world is falling apart. And we are at that cornerstone where we need to redefine and to create the future. And so this is the best time, I think, for women to really have a voice, which we didn't have before. Now we need to start sitting at the table, working with men, all together. Like, this is not about only women being there and creating the future. We need to work together with our counterparts, male counterparts. And so I think this is the perfect time where, if we don't want to end up in 10 years time not having the society we want to, we need to sit down together, start visualizing and imagining a society which would be ideal for women to raise their children in an environment which is much more mum friendly. So we need to start thinking about what that ideal society is and sit at the table and say from one voice what we want to see change and how we should evolve. And I think it's now that it's happening, and if we're not gathering, we don't have a chance to be heard. So we are, as I was saying earlier, a quarter of the population, and I think if we talk from one voice, like, it's impossible, we are not being heard. So this is the whole purpose of Spotz, and it couldn't be a better time. The future has to be rewritten, and this is the time to do it. It's not going to be tomorrow, because then we will probably end up in a society that is not taking into consideration mums and women in general enough. And so we need to sit down now and start, manifesting that future we dream of.
Exactly. I like the sound of that, finding our self-purpose as women and having a little bit of self-worth and high self-esteem, because sometimes being a woman is not easy. And it's great to hear that there is a community of women there who are ready to accept you and network together, especially as a mum, which can sometimes be isolating and scary, I can imagine. I'm not a mum myself, but great to hear that Spotz is out there, Oriane. So Spotz is in a class of its own, being such a unique platform. Do you have any expansion plans in the coming months?
Oh my God, so many. I'm pretty much losing my mind sometimes, because that we are about to launch the service section of the platform next week, actually. So much to deal with. We've been growing a lot. So the platform officially launched this year in February. And we've already reached, like, this month, more than 11,000 people on the platform this last month. So it's been growing a lot. And we've also, now Spotz has expanded. We're working with more and more women who are, each and every one of them is working on their own part, aspect of the company, social media, etc. So it's been growing very fast. And now we're launching the services, which will be a whole new business sort of within Spotz. Then we also want to create a marketplace where mothers can sell their products, like the second-hand products, which are related to motherhood and children, because Spotz is going to be a one-stop shop for moms. It's pretty much everything you need as a mom, you can actually find on Spotz. So as a mom, you will need to sell your old toys and the old clothes, and you will be able to get that on Spotz. We are also going to launch the mentorship section, which I was talking about earlier. And in early next year, we're also going to try to get some funding, because I've been funding everything myself. And if we want to grow even bigger, we will need to get to that step very quickly. And what I want is really, I have a vision of Spotz belonging to mothers, because this is a business for mothers and I want moms to own it. So I'm going for a round of equity crowdfunding, probably around January, February next year. And I'm hoping many of the moms will want to own a little bit of Spotz, because I really think it has a bright future and it's really showing amazing results already. And obviously expanding internationally, because moms all around the world need that. And we are not going to stop at Australia, New Zealand. We are going to stop only when the world is going to be covered with Spotz. That's the whole thing that are happening happening in my mind at the moment, and this is all happening right now.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your passion and enthusiasm for your project, and best of luck with your expansion plans. And I actually just read some interesting stats about equity crowdfunding, saying that the women-led projects garner 25% more interest than the projects led by men. So you've obviously picked the right method to fund your project there. Thanks so much for joining us today, Oriane. Before we wind up the discussion, was there anything you'd like to share with the viewers?
I think one thing that is important to share is that they can find us on Spotz with a Z at the end, spotz.com.au, and we're also on social media at Spotz for Moms. So yeah, please don't hesitate to reach out and join the tribe. We have a lot of work to do, and so as many women as possible can join. Like, that would be amazing.
Well, it's a very exciting time to connect with you. Thank you for making time for the show today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us. And that was Ms. Oriane Juncker, the CEO at Spotz. And thanks for watching Kalkine TV. Stay watching for more expert talks and live market updates. And as we say, stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.